Hi, Soph. Here's your Hasselblad camera. The Ansel Adams model. It's a real camera. Everything's mechanical. There's nothing electronic. This little knob here winds the film between shots. This thing on the right here, that's the shutter. First thing you want to know, this is the lens cap, you know that. And this thing back here, this whole section back here, you look at it from this side, because that's how you'll remove it later. This is the lens, not the lens, but the film magazine. And no pictures can ever be taken with this camera until you put out this thing that blocks the film, protects the film. I brought an extra one for you, got it from Japan. In case you ever lose it, this one has some Velcro on it to stick it on the camera, but the guy told me occasionally you lose these things. It goes right back into the film magazine like this. You take it out when you take pictures. You cannot take the film magazine off. People take it off. You can take it off if you want to reload stuff. Right there. We'll show you more later. This is the shutter curtain. It opens and closes really fast. You don't want to touch this. This is very fragile, and inside is where the action takes place. It's simply a box that lets the light into the lens and onto the film. This thing goes back on like this, right here. Clicks on the bottom, so, and you move this button here. This says 12 right here to the right to let it in. If you don't have the film blocker in here, the protective film blocker, this thing won't connect. If you don't have the thing out, you can't shoot images. It's so weird that way. That's a way of protecting itself. Now, first thing is to get the camera lens off. You have to turn it slightly. Can't pull it. And there's the camera lens. If you ever get another lens for the camera, there's a button on the left. You press it, turn it, comes off. Put it back in. You line up the red dots just like on your Canon. You turn it and click shut. Okay. Now, to take a picture, you press the top here, and out pops. Oops, press it to the right, excuse me. Out pops this. You look down there, and you can see an image. You see an image in there. You see an image in there. What's funny is, if you're looking at images and they're slightly tilted one way or another, you have to tilt the camera the opposite way of the way you think in order for a thing to be level. You might be taking a lot of pictures, of course, with your tripod. But how do you focus it? Well, you focus the image by turning the lens until it focuses. But you can't get a precise focus. The way you do it, Hasselblad's really cool. You go right back to this button here, you press it again, and out pops the magnifying system right on top, see? And you look through it with your head, obviously with your eye, and then there's a circle in the middle, and that circle allows for, here's the focus. The focusing is all the way in the middle here, toward the body of the camera. You turn this thing until you got a perfect focus looking at the little circle in the middle. This allows for very precise, perfect pictures. And when you're done, you can take a shot like that, have that up, or you can bring it back down. To bring it back down, you simply take the magnifying system, press it in like that, then take the sides, press them in, press that down, it's back. To get it back, button on top, pops back up, and then you hit the button again, here, and the magnifier comes up. Okay, things to know. Now you want to take a picture. So, what do? Well, obviously you'd have this up, and you probably have the magnifier up. And you see everything you want to take the picture, you simply press right here, this button. It won't take it. It won't go. Why? Well, the film is covered up by this thing back here. And you look in there, you see an image. You have to take that thing out. You see an image, you press, and shutter goes off. It won't go on again. Why won't it go on? Well, you have to wind it to the next stop. The other thing is, after each wind, you take the film winder right here, you wind it from, say it's on picture number 3, You wind it till it comes to picture number 4. Right now there's no film that'll count the numbers. The numbers will show up right in here. Right in this little hole here, the numbers will show up. You wind it till it's the next picture. On the other side, you have this red thing. Right now it has no film in there. But when the film is loaded, which is the last thing we'll do, to me is the most complicated, this will be white, and little by little it'll disappear. We'll get to this eventually. You wind it, you're set, put the winder back in, pick your next picture. You probably put this down, magnifier down, decompose the picture, find something you want to take a picture of. All your pictures, clearly you have to really be ready to take it and get what you want. Right now I'm looking outside at the window, outside of the tree of our house, oops, I'm going the wrong way, to get the camera to look at what I'm taking a picture of. You know, something's wrong, I'm not sure what. Oh, I forgot to do the magnifier. There we go. I look through the magnifier, get it perfectly in focus, and there's the tree outside. It's in focus. I look through this thing, make sure it's vertical where I want. I hold the camera carefully. I shoot the picture. I want another picture. Wind the camera. Wind the lens. Wind the film until it gets to the next one. Simple, eh? Well, maybe not so simple. Okay, the tricky part is how you know what exposure to use. And that's the difficult part. You have to make choices. First of all, you can turn, not the teeth right here toward the inside of the camera, the body, is the focus ring. The next ring here, you adjust your aperture for your lens. 22 is tiny, tiny, tiny for very bright light and sometimes fast shutter speed. And you go down to 2.5, which is wide open and sometimes fast or slow shutter speed depending upon your lighting. So let's set up someplace in the middle to an 8. All right, this is an 8. And I want to take a picture of exactly what I'm facing there with the computer looking at me. How do I do it? Well, this gentleman also, with the deal, gave us a light meter. Here it is, and you have to use this. Or you can guess on the shutter speed, and you can guess on your aperture. You choose the aperture. You choose how open you want the lens to be. First of all, the film we're going to be putting in there is ASA or ISO 160 or ASA 160 to set up on ASA. Along the little teeth here, see these little teeth here? You turn, it was on 400, there's a black and white film, and I turned this down to about 160 because that's the film that's in there. That affects things. Okay, now say I set the aperture to an 8, right in about the middle. What lighting do I need? Well, you have all the shutter speeds here, numbered. All these numbers from 1 second to being held open to 500th of a second. But that's a little tough. So what do? Here in the red, you have these EV numbers. EV, that's for lighting. Now, what do you do about that? This thing will read your EV. The way this thing works is you always hit the red dot quickly to check to see, and hit the green button here to check to see if the battery's good. It takes a 9-volt battery. Battery just, yep, it's going up there, way up. Battery's good. 9-volt battery, it's fine. Now, what you also have to do to expose, get the right exposure, you then go and hit this thing, and turn until it's zeroed out. Right here, the exposure in the room at 0. Then you look at the EV reading. The EV is right around 8 down here. EV reading is right around 8. So what do you do then? Well, you want to turn this thing, but it's stuck. There's a ring right here, a metal thing. You pull it with your finger. That loosens you up. So then you can line up. There's a yellow marker there. Line that up and turn the ring until you get to about 8. Now you got the right exposure, which happens to be fairly about a quarter of a second inside here at an aperture of 8. If you were down to 2.8 aperture, it would probably be a slightly faster shutter speed, 50th or 30th or 60th of a second. Now you got your exposure. If I, for some reason, press the green button and look at the exposure outside, whoa, I'd have to turn this thing down, and the EV, because the more light, would be at about an 11, which I would then set the, pull this back again here, pull it back, and I would go down to the EV thing on the side here, in the orange, and turn the thing up to an 11. It's more light, and sure enough, faster shutter speed, the shutter speed's gone up about a 60th of a second from inside this house. That's how you adjust shutter speed and exposure. You just leave this alone, and it just shuts off by itself. This is really handy. It's worth a lot of money. So, check the batteries. There's also, by the way, a little red button. It's depressed. That means for regular photo shooting. If you press it down, it pops up. That's for using a flash. It's a whole different game, which eventually you might get into. All right. So, you have now successfully getting ready to take another picture. You look through your magnifier. You turn the, got your exposure right. You turn this thing till you got exactly. I don't know what I'm looking at here. I'm trying to be in front of you. There you go. Exactly what you want to expose it. The little ring in the middle. And you shoot your shot. Okay, you're done for a while. You're done for a while, or you're out of film. You've wanted to the last one, number 12. So you put this in. Down. Did butterflies. Down. Down. Close that. Oop. Maybe it's the other way down. Close it. And you're all set. Now, what do you do about changing the film? That's the tricky part on this camera. First thing you do, of course, is put the protector back in that blocks the exposure. And you take the, right here. Oops, somebody's got a phone call. Just hang on, Shane. Just hang on. I'm on the thing. It's Shane calling. All right, I'm back. So Shane was calling for Mom. Now you can change the film, either taking the film back off or leave it on. I'm going to take it off. It'll be easier to manipulate. There's a 12 on top of here. You slide this thing to the right, and off it comes. There's a film protector in here. You see it moving back? You can just keep it in there. Now, here's where it gets a little complicated, at least for me. I take some fresh film we have here. It's color film. Take a roll out. And what you're going to do is, see this right here? See, you pull this knob up like that, turn it, and out pops the film canister. Here on top, and this thing fell out. That's okay. You can put it back in once you reload the film. It doesn't really matter. Or I can put it in now if I want, but it's too much of a hassle. Okay. To load the film, here's the film that was in there before. The film that was in there before, it comes from the new film that's all worn out. It goes up across the front and loads into here. So what do is you take, here's a thing that turns so you know where it belongs. It turns the film when it sets up. You press it down, you press it, you take the old film out. Then you move the new receiver for the new film from where it got worn out from before, it got used up, into here. You put it in, and there it goes. Now you take the new film. Hubba bubba. Take the new film, open it up. By the way, I can get it online for $3 to $4 a roll. It costs $9.50 a roll when you buy it in the store, like I did, like an idiot. And you're going to film is going to go into here, and it's go across here with the black part exposed. So you have to be careful to do it right, or you'll be exposing the paper side. So you undo the film. Here we go. Take this off. Okay, that's the black side. So you're going to put it in just the wrong way, this way.